Hey all, so today we're doing ordering fractions, and this time we have multiple fractions that we're ordering, not just two, which is why we can't always use cross multiplication on these. It would just take more time and get way more complicated. So what we're going to do is go through with all three of our fractions, and we're going to find our common denominator, which is the same thing as our lowest common multiple. We're going to start with our smallest number, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Then we're going to go through the first 5 of 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. As you know, when you've got 3 or more numbers that you're trying to get a common denominator for, we want to make sure we always list the first 5 of 2 of those factors. And then when we start listing the next one, we can look for matches. So 6, yes, we have it in 3, but we don't have it on this row. And we look 12, we've got it on all 3. So we know that our common denominator is going to go 12. It's going to be in all of them. Now I've got to actually do the math. So I'm going to use this little space here to do the math. I have 2/3 times something equals 12. 1/4 times something equals 12. Notice that I'm keeping these fractions in the same order that they are up top. That's really important just to keep yourself organized and to make it so you don't make careless mistakes just in the movement. 3 times what equals 12? 4. I want to multiply by 1 whole, so whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 4 times something equals 12. 3. Multiplying by 1 whole, so whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 6 times 2 equals 12. Whatever I do to the bottom, I'm doing to the top. So now I've got it all set up. I'm going to go through, once again, keep those lined up here. So 2 times 4 is 8. And so my first one is going to be 8/12 right there. I don't put anything on these lines yet because it says originals least to greatest. Whenever we're comparing fractions, we want to end up with our original fractions. 1 times 3 is 3. So this is 3/12. And then 3 times 2 is 6, 6/12. So I want these least to greatest. The smallest one is 3/12, but it wants the original fractions. So instead of writing 3/12, since I kept them right aligned, I'm going to put 1/4, because that's the original. The middle one between 6/12 and 8/12 is 6/12. So instead of putting 6/12 like I almost did, I started to, I got to put that original 3/6. And then here 8/12, not writing 8/12, writing 2/3. And that common mistake that I just made is what most kids tend to make. So what I recommend doing, and we'll do that on one of our others, is I'll show you that I'm going to write the originals and the modified from least to greatest, or greatest to least in this case. First, I've got to figure out my common denominator. So starting with 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Then going with 6s, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, counting by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, going back up because I didn't have anything that matched, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Going back here, looking for anything and knowing that it's 10, so it's got to be something that ends with a 0. And since this one didn't work, I'm just going to keep going until I get there. 36. Oh, I got something in my eye. Sorry, guys. 42. 48. I'm just running out of space and trying to figure out the best way to do this. 54. 60. Haven't met anything yet, so gonna count now. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Going back up here to 4s, notice that I've left myself a little bit more room. That was my goal, was I wanted to get to 10s on each and then have a little bit of extra space. 44, 48, 52, 56, 60. Sweet, looking there. I have 60 on all 3. So I've got my LCM. And on this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my math. Here, I'll just draw a line above this. I'm going to do my math right over here. So I have 3/10 times something equals 60. 2, 6 times something equals 60. And then 2/4 times something equals 60. I know I'm getting tight on space, but I'll make it work. 10 times 6, 3 times 6. And remember, if you don't know your math facts, you can come up here and get it done. Then times 10 times 10, so I've got 20. Remember, I want these from greatest to least, so I'm looking just automatically, seeing that 20/60ths is bigger than this one. Then 4 times what equals 60? Well, I could count one, or I could do the long division. Whatever works best for your brain, but I know that this was times 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So times 15. 2 times 15, that seems really big, but also 2 times 15 is 30. We know this. So I'm looking, and I have 30th 60s, or 30 over 60 is the biggest. Then I have 20 over 60. Then I have 18 over 60. So now that I've put my modified fractions in order, I'm going to come back over here and write my original fractions in order. So which one was 30 over 60? 2/4. Which one was 20 over 60? 2/6. Which one was 18 over 60? 3/10. So now I have gone through and put my original fractions in order, which is what I'm expecting you all to do. That one took a little bit longer, just getting the LCM, but that's the thing that took the longest amount of time. These next ones should go a little faster. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Counting by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Counting by 9s, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. Going back up to 2s, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Looking at 3s, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. One thing is when you're switching between numbers, make sure you're counting by the correct number. So I didn't want to switch to counting by 3s and still be counting by 2s. I'm looking for that meetup, and I've got it with 18. So then I'm going to convert each of these fractions. I've got 8/9 times something. 18 is my common denominator. 1/3 times something is my common denominator of 18. And 1/2 times something is my common denominator of 18. So, times 2/2, 6/6, and 9/9. I still want them from greatest to least, so I'm looking for which of these is the biggest. 16/18 is the biggest, followed by 9/18, and lastly 6/18. So then I come over here. 16/18 was 8/9. Then 9/18 is 1/2. And then 6/18 is 1/3. And you can either do commas in between or semicolons, either way. You'll see it both ways. Now, unfortunately, this one did take a little bit longer, so I'm not going to do a ton of extra ones, but you guys can go through and do this one on your own. You're doing it once again from greatest to least. Same thing here. It's all just what we've been doing. I just don't want to go over 15 minutes with this video. This takes a little bit longer, but you're going to notice your homework is going to be a lot less because of that as well. We'll go through some, and when I do those problems today in your tutoring lesson, stick around. Make sure you're with me for those.